Alright, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon everybody. I would like to explain exercise 33 about how to write those numbers as a product of prime numbers, and we need to use the powers. So there was an example about a number 1125, and you can write it down as 3 times 3 times 5 times 5 times 5 again, and that's exactly the same as 3 to the power of 2 times 5 to the power of 3. Let me just look at how we come to those answers, and let me just try with the first one, 96. Please know the prime numbers like 2 and 3 and 5 and 7 and 11, etc. Yeah, so because we need them to divide the number 96, and we just start with the lowest number, number 2. Can we divide 96 with 2? Yes, that's possible, because if I divide 96 with 2, you will get the answer 48. Now let me go on. Can we divide 48 with 2? Yes, that's even possible, because that's 24. Can we divide 24 with 2? Yes, because that's 12. Can we divide 12 with 2? Yes, because that's 6. Can we divide 6 with 2? Yes, because that's 3. And can we divide 3 with 2? Yes, we can, but then you do not get a natural number like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., because it's 1.5. So we can't divide it with 2 anymore, so we go to the next prime number, and the next prime number is 3. Can we divide 3 with 3? Yes, we can, so it is 1. And if you end with 1, then you know all the prime factors over here. So we can write down 96 as 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. But we need to write down as a power, so 2. So 96 is exactly the same as 2 to the power of 5 times 3. And that's the answer with exercise A. Let me just go on with exercise B. 360. Alright, can we divide it by 2? Yes, it's 180. We can divide it again with 2, that's 90. We can divide it again with 2, because that's 45. Alright, we can't divide it with 2 anymore, so we go with the next prime number, that's 3. And we can divide it with 3, because that's 15. We can even divide 15 by 3, because that's 5. And there you go. We need to go on with the next prime number, and the next prime number is 5. And that's 1. And those are the prime factors. So 360 is exactly the same as 2 to the power of 1, 2, 3 to the power of 3 times 3 to the power of 2 times 5. And that's the answer from exercise B. Exercise C, 550. We can divide it by 2, because that's 275. We can't divide it with 2 anymore, and we even can't divide it by 3. So we go on by dividing with 5. And if I divide by 5, you get 55. Now 55, divide that one by 5 again, so that's 11. And 11 is a prime number himself, so we know that we can divide it immediately by 11, and that's 1. So that's one of the things that you need to know. If you see a prime number, you already have the answer. So we can write down 550 in 2 times, that's a 2, times 5 squared times 11. Exercise D, 875. It ends with a 5, so we already know that you can't divide it with 2, and maybe you also see that you can't divide it with 3, so we can divide it with 5, because that's 175. It ends again with the number 5, so we can divide it again with 5, because that's 35. Even 35 is divisible with 5, and that's 7. And 7 is a prime number, so we can divide it by 7, and that's 1. So 875 is exactly the same as 5 to the power of 3 times 7. Then we are with exercise E, 4410. We can divide it by 2 because that's 2205. Here we can divide it by 5. I see a 5 immediately, so if we divide it by 5, you get 441. Now we can divide 441 with 3, and that's 147. And even this number is divisible with 3, and that's 49. And 49, yeah, if you know those tables from 1 to 10, you know that you can divide it by 7, and 7 was a prime number. So there you go, and that's 7. And 7 divided with 7 is 1. So those are the prime factors. I only see 1, 2, so it's exactly the same as 2 times. And I start with the number 3. I see 2 times, so 3 squared times 5 and times 7 squared. There you go. So that was exercise E. And then the last one, exercise F with 18,000. Alright, if we divide it with 2, you get 9,000. Divide again with 2, you get 4,500. And divide it again with 2, you get 2,250. Even this one divided by 2, 11,250. It ends here with 5, so of course you can look if you can divide it by 3, and if you see that it is an answer, you can start with 3, of course, because that's 375. And 375, we can even divide that number by 3, because that's 125. And then we need to change with the 5, so divide that number with 5, then you get 25. Go on over here, so 25, we can divide it with 5 again, that's 5, and 5, that's the last number, so divide by 5, that's 1. So those numbers, this one and even those two, are again the prime factors. So 18,000 is exactly the same as 2 to the power of 1, 2, 3, 4 times 3 to the power of 2, or 3 squared, and times 5 to the power of 3. Oh, sorry, that needs to be a 3. And those are the answers from exercise 33. Good luck with the rest of the exercises.